Good morning, everybody. We're here in the annex again with Port and her orange boys, I guess. Port oranges. Yeah, okay. And there wasn't a close-up yesterday because I spent just a huge amount of the day taking photos of these kids and then editing those photos and then editing some older photos and getting them all put up on our website. So if you haven't been to our website lately, I suggest you drop in and check it out. There's some great close photos of all of these kids there, and a copy of DJ's cheat sheet also there on our website, which is kitten.academy. This is Sydney. You can tell from the dot on the back left, which is here on the back left. So that's how that works. And our website, I don't know if I said it's kitten.academy. There's no W's in it, there's no com in it, there's no org. It's just kitten.academy. That's really the whole thing. So if you go there, it should be right on the front page, our latest blog post about these kids and all their little pictures. So I hope you check it out. It's some good photography. As good as you can get for little kittens. You'll notice that, for instance, all the kittens don't have the same number of pictures because you just gotta kind of take what you get when they're this wiggly. Anyway, I just weighed everybody this morning, and I'm happy to report that they're all doing well. There's a couple that are still coming in at the very minimum, like Antwerp. The minimum being 0.2 ounces is our daily 24-hour minimum gains. If it's less than that, we have to do something about it. But at zero point 0.2, is the reason it's the minimum. Is some kids are going to do the minimum, and some of these kids so far are. With 8 kittens for this one mom, I'm actually not surprised. I think we would expect to have to help out a little more than we are so far. So she's doing really good at keeping up with it. And most of them are coming in well above that too, so that's really good. So yeah, some of them are starting to show their eyes open. Today is Thursday, which puts it, let's see, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days after they were born. They're 11 days old today. Somebody can correct me on that. I would say 11 days today, and that puts them at just about the average age for having their eyes open. We've got a couple that are partway there, but nobody's completely there yet. And that's pretty normal. So we'll take a look at each of them individually in the course of this little close-up video. We'll do that so that we can check on their eyes together. And also, I've seen that some people have been making their own little cheat sheet charts of the kittens based off these close-ups. So that's fun if I can get all the kittens. There we go. So usually we start with, we go in the weight sheet order, which means that this is Halifax and he's usually first. So now that he just stopped nursing for a second, we might as well steal him and start doing that, like I said. So they're all boys. And like I said, they're about 11 days old. And I see some people talking about Millet's surgery, which we don't know for sure if he's having yet. Hi. Okay. So that's our little boy, Halifax. Anyway, Millet has flat-chested kitten syndrome, or pectus excavatum, and we've got a surgical consultation for him on the 7th. So he won't be getting surgery on the 7th, but he'll be seeing the surgeon on the 7th to determine whether he needs anything. for sure. But if you remember, today is the day that I'm taking all of those kids, Millet and his three brothers, to the vet for their second vaccines. And our regular vet then will also be sort of checking him out to see how he's doing and whether he's keeping up well or not. So he'll be at the regular vet today, and that happens this afternoon. We'll probably leave a little after 2 and probably be back before 5. I don't know exactly when. So, okay, all right. That's a lot of yelling. Your mom's starting to wonder what's going on, buddy. That's kind of convenient for us, though, because now that means we can pick up everybody. Okay, so this is Dover, and you can tell Dover by the dot in the middle of the back, just like Dover is written over the middle of the back there. This is our little Dover. And let's turn him over so we can see his little cutie face and see if he's got any eyes open. Oh, he was the first one. Oh, they're all so loud this morning. My goodness. He's getting his little fingers caught in the blanket I've decided to use too. So Dover was the first one that we noticed his eyes opening at all, and it seems like he's getting there. He's about halfway. I thought he'd have them all the way open by now, but that's okay. I know, so loud this morning. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. Oh, yeah. These kittens have actually been relatively good about being held without yelling too much, but today seems like they are not up for it. Let's see here. Okay, so next up we would have all the way in the back here, Bombay. This is Bombay. You can tell from the mark at the base of his tail. He's also going to yell a lot. My fingers aren't even that cold this morning, pal. So he doesn't look like he's showing anything yet. Maybe just the tiniest little dot in the corner of his eye. But that's Bombay. Hi, Port. Do you want your little kid back? It's like, well, not really, but he's yelling. Can you at least ask him to be quiet? You don't have to give him back. Just ask him to be quiet. Too cute. Okay. Okay, here we go. All right, well, let's just keep going in order then, which means next up is going to be Puget, according to the weight chart order. He's one of the smaller ones, and he does have an eye open. This is him right here. How about that? I got him in one. So this is our little Puget. Oh, they're all getting their fingers caught on this blanket. I picked a bad one. There he is. You see he's got one eye all the way open and one that's not open at all. And he also has things to say. He's got a little something in the corner of his mouth. Did you run into Mom's food this morning, buddy? Let me take a look at that real quick. I'm going to need both hands for that. So let me try to set the camera down in the box for a second, see if that works or not. Hang on, I just want to see if that's food or if he's got something in there in the corner of his mouth. It's good. You know, this is a good reason for them to be yelling. It gives you a chance to see what's going on in there. What do you got? Oh, I think I knocked it into his mouth. Oh, stop with the yelling, buddy. I want to see if that's a scab or if it's a food. Looks like it's some of Mom's kitty litter, actually. She must have tracked it into the box and then he got it in his mouth. Let me double check, bud. Just want to take a quick look here. Let's see. Open your mouth for a minute. Now I want you to open your mouth and you're going to be super quiet all of a sudden, huh? Yeah, it looks like you just caught a little bit of Mom's litter in your mouth, didn't you? All right, buddy. There you go, Puget. Oh, man. My goodness. All right. Just checking that out. And so let's see. After Puget, then we would do Rotterdam. Let's see if we can find him somewhere. Oh, got that in one, too. There he is right there in the back. Right on my first choice. He's the one with the mark on his left shoulder. And it looks like, oh, we got some eyes here too. And some loud. So much loudness from all the kittens this morning. So there his eyes are about halfway also. Good progress, buddy. Oh, now you're going to calm down, huh? That's good. Okay, pal. Okay. He's so fat and soft. Look at that giant belly. Isn't that ridiculous? Yes, it is ridiculous, though. Okay. So that's Rotterdam. Get him back in the pile. Next, we're going to look for Antwerp, who's been our little, I guess I can't say problem child, but the one that has definitely been the smallest the whole time and is insisting on taking the minimum gains just to squeak by, but is more advanced in the sense that he's got one eye open. Oh, 1.5. Look at that. You're going to be the first one with two eyes all the way open, aren't you? Yeah, even though you're the tiny one. Oh, and so loud. So loud, Antwerp. So that's our little Antwerp. You can tell from the mark on his right back haunch, like you have a front haunch. No, you don't. No, you don't. Anyway, that's our boy. Antwerp. Yes. Okay. Okay, hang on there, pal. We got you. Okay, here we go. Now, this seems like a good chance because they're all yelling and because nobody has said anything about it yet. I don't feel like I'm calling anybody out by bringing up the fact that a lot of times people will say, why are you handling them so much? They obviously don't like it. Listen to them yelling and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All those kinds of things. I've mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again, that we do it because it's important. We're not just doing it for fun. As you saw, hi, buddy. We are also doing it for fun. I won't lie about that, but not just for fun. Um, this is Sydney, by the way. Sydney. Sorry, I didn't say his name. Hi, Sid. Um, as you just saw, I saw a little something in one of the kitten's mouths. We had to check that out, which I wouldn't have seen if we didn't do this kind of thing. And it's also the same way that we found out that Millet had the flat-chested kitten syndrome was by playing with him just like this. Otherwise, we never would have noticed that. Or maybe we would have, but it would have taken much longer. And various other conditions that we've found that way as well. All kinds of stuff. So it's important medically too to annoy them and play with them, and it's important also for socialization. We want them to get used to being picked up and to being manipulated, and the smell and the feel of little human hands on them all the time. That's also important to get them into that right away, and then to continue that throughout their growing up here at the academy. So. So that's all very important stuff. And I know sometimes it's a little hard for some folks to listen to the kittens yell, but they yell anyway. They yell at each other, they yell at their mom. I'm sure if you've tuned into the regular Kitten Academy live stream, you've heard them yelling plenty, even when I'm not in here messing with them. So that's also just the way that they communicate. Okay, so that leaves us with one last kitten we didn't check yet, who's Rio, and Rio has his marking on the belly, so it's kind of just a case of looking for the kitten that we don't see any markings on, or it's kind of the case that I have to pick them up anyway to try to figure it out. Let's see if we can figure it out. This is probably Sydney again right here, isn't it? Yeah. Rio's one of the big ones, though, so I kind of look for size, like on who's a big kitten. This guy in the back. Is this you? Oh, hang on, I can't see your chest because you got your feet on me. No, that's not him. Okay, come on now, that's not him. I think this is Sydney. Yes, that's Sydney, who I just put there. I gotta sort through all the kittens to find Rio. There he is. Okay. Hi, buddy. All right. You're the last one on this sheet. All right, so Rio again, his marking, you see we put a little dot on his belly, and so that can be kind of hard to see as we're digging through. But, come on, let go of the blanket. Here we go. Okay, so that's Rio. I've got an early suspicion that Rio is gonna like to cuddle and have his belly rubbed because he's already been enjoying that a little more than the others. Oh, he's still got some yelling to do, and you can see his eyes. Oh, his eyes are open a little bit. There you go. I think you can see that. Okay, Rio, we got you, bud. They are so soft at this age, and their fuzz is just so fuzzy. Super, super wonderful. And you'll notice, by the way, this when I put the food coloring on, sometimes they smear it around and get it on other things. So this is a little dot of food coloring that got out of place on him. That's normal. You probably noticed some of it on the blankets and stuff as well. Look at that big old belly on Rio. Okay, pal. Yeah. Okay, buddy, we got you. All right. Well, so there's all the kittens. We went through them all. And their mom, Port, who already had some breakfast. You might notice I've been giving her the mom cat special again. It's RC mom and baby cat mixed with a little bit of warm water. I'm doing that because it's got more calories in it than the fancy feast that we would normally want her to eat and that she seems like she wants to eat. I'm in the unusual position of trying to convince a mom cat to eat the food that we're normally trying to convince them not to eat. But I think that it might help her produce a little better for all these kittens. So the better she eats, the better they eat, the better I don't have to worry about trying to feed them or supplement them. Bombay photo bombaying us. Photo bombaying? Yeah, I did it. I did it. That works. That actually works. Wow, that's a joke I'll probably get to use again. I'm trying to figure out who this little cutie is that we're looking at laying on his back, though. Who are you, buddy? You're so cute. Look how cute you are. You want to fight me? Well, you can tell now. I can see both of his eyes. This has got to be Antwerp because he's got this eye that's almost open. It's just barely tacked shut. Tiny, tiny bit. That'll probably be open in just a few hours, even. Now he's getting full on hugged by Bombay. So yeah, it's got to be Antwerp on the bottom there and Bombay on top. Did I say? I don't know what I said. It's got to be Antwerp though. He's the one that had the one eye that was almost all the way open. So. How you feeling under there, Antwerp? Maybe we could get you out and you could find some more nursing to do right now. What do you think of that? Hmm? Bombay, why don't you find somebody else to crush? Oh, that's not Antwerp, though. It's not Antwerp because this marking is on the left, and that makes it Rotterdam. Look at that. So Rotterdam's eyes almost open all of a sudden. That looks really weird like that, but I'm not going to try to force it open. He'll have it open in just a few. Kind of looks like actually, I don't know what it looks like because the aliens. I was thinking of the aliens in Mass Effect again. I don't know. It must be because they're coming out with that special edition that I'm all excited about. The ones that have like four eyes and they look all weird. But their eyes are set the other way, aren't they? I'm trying to picture it in my head. Well, no, you don't actually don't need to go nurse then, Rotterdam. You're doing fine. Why don't you sit over here with Bombay like you were? What I get for trying to manipulate the situation, isn't it, Port? Yes, Batarians. Thank you. That is the kind I was thinking of. Well, they're all nursing, so why don't we go take a look at the other kittens? Since everybody here is kind of settled down. All right, let's do it. I'm gonna have a sip of this coffee. Yeah, I know what a sip is. That wasn't a sip, but that's okay. It was very yummy. All right, let's head down. See those kids. All right, as before, I'm going to use the hand sanitizer just because I can. I'm more concerned about getting sanitized before I go in to see the little kittens. I don't think it's as important when I come out, but it's here. And before we head down, I'm going to show you what we've got in here. We've got the 2 extra boxes that I got and I cut out to use in place of the box that she has the kittens in right now. All I have to do now is I can put blankets in here and then roll up the blankets just exactly the right way, put the kittens in it, and then just switch the lid over. And it works really well. I've done it a few times. And as you see, I've got an extra one in reserve. And if you're observant, you will notice this one is cut all the way to the bottom. It doesn't have a lip on it. So this is the one we will use when they're ready to start going out of the box. Then we can put them in there with the blanket, and they won't even know that it's a different box, but all of a sudden they'll be able to get out instead of having that lip to contend with. So that's a plan that's been working really well. I've already swapped the box back and forth a few times, actually, and it works really, really well. It's super convenient to be able to put the blankets in the box, put the kittens in the box, and then switch the lid. It's much easier than trying to get them all out of the box and then, keep them all out long enough for me to switch the blankets. And then if I have to clean the box, to wipe it down in between and then to try to get them all back in, it's a big hassle. This way is so much easier and quicker and faster and safer and wonderful. Speaking of wonderful, so these are Flower and her bready boys, the bready bunch. They are, how old are they now? What are they, 9 weeks, right? They must be a little over 9 weeks, actually. And they will be going today for their second vaccine, which they would be eligible for at 9 weeks. So I know they're over that. I think just over it. I think they're in their 9th week right now. So that would be right. And you can see the major difference between kittens upstairs. The kittens upstairs are a week and a half, right? Am I going crazy? No, the kittens upstairs, yeah, they're 11 days. That's what I was just saying. I was just saying they're 11 days upstairs. So 11-day-old kittens versus here are 9, almost 10-week-old kittens here. And yeah, I saw somebody ask, Rye lost his collar and I couldn't find it. DJ found it last night. It's upstairs in the bedroom. I just have to remember to bring it down. This is Rye's old collar, the one that's all beat up. They all got new collars that aren't all fuzzy and beat up like that. So his new collar's upstairs. And so I've mentioned this before. We've got so many kittens going everywhere. I don't know what to film while I'm talking to you. Let's see if we can get them to come out here, though. Let's see. I was going to say, I've mentioned this before, that one of the things that we do for the kitten collars that is very important to us is we fix up the little clasp on it. Let's see. Where's the clasp? There it is. Whoa. Oh, well, there. I just illustrated it. He just tried to jerk back out of my hand and the collar popped right off. So when we get these collars, they were all made for us by _Kitten, a person who is on our Discord and has been hanging out with us for a long time. _Kitten sent us an entire box of these handmade collars that they made specifically for us to use for our kittens that are smaller than any collars you can buy in the store. Because it's a fact that even the smallest collar that you can buy in the store is way too big for even these kittens. Even at 10 weeks, the collars that you can buy in the store, even the ones they sell as kitten collars, those are more like collars for kittens that are 6 months old or something, not for kittens that are 10 weeks old or younger. So these were all custom made to be much smaller than any collars that you can buy. And the important thing, of course, is that they do come right off if they get caught on anything. That's really, really important to us. And the way that they come, these clasps, they are a little hard to operate. I wouldn't put them on a kitten that way. But you'll notice, here you can see it on the outside part, there's a little bump on the inside of the clasp, and then there's this little tab on this side, and you can see right there where I've shaved down the tab so that it comes off even easier. And then I test it several times to make sure that it'll pull right off. And the whole reason that I brought that up was to talk to you, or to tell you that that's why Rye's collar is missing, of course, is that if we're going to make a mistake, I would rather make the mistake of making it too easy so that it falls off all the time than making it too hard so it doesn't come off when we need it. And I often do make it too easy. I'm not going to be able to get this collar back on him while we're doing the close-up because I only have one hand, and that's not going to work. This is Corn here playing with his own collar now, and Rye. Anyway, I'd much rather make it too easy than have it be too difficult. I'd rather have it fall off all day long than have it not come off when we need it. And, it's really just there for identification anyway. So that's what we do. And that's why Rye's has fallen off and probably will continue to fall off. I trimmed it a little too much, and I noticed it was I knew it was going to come off because it just didn't have any stick to it anymore at all. Which, like I said, is fine. If I end up putting it on him for a while, it's fine. If it keeps falling off, that's fine. It's just there to make him easy to identify, and at least, especially in Rye's case, he's easy to identify anyway because you can see the difference. Rye is what we call a classic tabby, which has the sort of swirled, it's almost a circle. His isn't quite like a perfect classic tabby marking, which would be a circle. They're so busy, I can't even show you what I'm talking about. Anyway, so the classic tabbies have like a big, broad stripe that makes a circle around their side, or almost like an @ symbol. Hey, oh, that was a tough bite, Potato. That was too much bite. Whereas mackerel tabbies, like Potato here, have thin stripes, as you can clearly see, little thin stripes like a zebra. So that's the difference. And that's why Rye, being our only classic tabby in the class, is easy to distinguish even without his collar. It's because he's got these big, broad stripes that are they're not quite a perfect circle like they ought to be. But we don't care. I think he looks very, very handsome. You can still see a bit of a circle there anyway. Yeah, it's okay, buddy. These kittens, for being 4 boys, I think they're more rambunctious than most classes that we've had lately when they get going. And also, I need to do a lot more training about not biting, which is, that can be tricky. Some of it is to just redirect them. I need to always have a toy with me, so when they start getting bitey, I can just give them the toy instead. That's a good starting practice, and sometimes that'll be enough. These kittens, I don't think it's going to be enough, though. And then that's when we resort to some other things, like sort of I'll tap them on the nose just a little bit, or I'll say no, or I'll hiss at them when they bite, give them a little hiss. I'm not going to illustrate because they won't know why I'm doing it. Or another thing sometimes that I do, and this I don't know, it'd be interesting to hear if people think that this is appropriate or not. But like when Potato will bite my finger, sometimes I'll just push it into his mouth so that he gags a little. And that actually, for Potato, it works really well. And it's almost trained him just in like 1 or 2 goes. So I think that worked really, really well. On the flip side, I tried that same thing on Millet right here. This is Millet. And it didn't work at all. Millet just does not have that reflex. And I wonder if it's because we gave Millet so many tube feedings when he was little. I wonder if that is what affected the fact that he doesn't gag at all when I try to make him, when I push my finger in there to get him to stop biting. No effect. So this is, by the way, this is Millet is the one that has the surgical consult on the 7th because he's got the flat chest, which I always am trying to show you guys, and it's just not easy to see. There you go. You can see it pretty well like that, though, can't you? It's not easy to see, though. There's all the fur in the way. So those are things that we do, and of course, there's some things that we would never do, which I guess I won't even really go into, but there's certain types of corrections, of course, that we don't think are appropriate whatsoever. But I think I just gave you a pretty comprehensive list of the things that we will do. I think the hissing can be especially effective if it's deployed correctly, and I do think it's important to kind of try to teach them that a little bit. Now, of course, if you are someone who is adopting a kitten, and maybe you've never had one before, you should expect that they're going to bite once in a while. They're kittens. It's one of the things that happens, but they usually aren't going to bite hard enough to cause any real damage, especially when they bite, if you react, if you're like, ouch, and you say, oh, that hurts, and you let them know not to do it, sort of vocally, and by giving a big reaction. They'll stop right away. They're not out to cause harm. They're trying to play. This is how they play with their brothers and their family. But it is something that adopters should be aware of as a thing that is inevitably going to happen because they're kittens. Whoa. Okay. That's a good chance for me to talk about something else. That's Eddie, who you see disappearing back there, and you just heard a little bit of a hiss from Flower, who jumped up to tell him to back off. And that's a good chance to, oh, well, I also see we're almost out of time, but let me just say, Flower has been doing great with the faculty. In fact, Custard and Logan get into more fights now than Flower ever would, and they're still allowed around. So that's another thing that we're working on that I won't get into right now. But yes, Flower did just hiss at Eddie, and he backed right off, and she's fine with that, as you can see. She doesn't try to chase after him or attack him or anything else. She just wants him to go away, and he does, and it's fine. So she's actually doing great, and you might have noticed that she has had free roam all morning. She was out already when we came down here, and I wasn't even keeping an eye on her. And that's because at this point, I feel like the worst that would possibly happen from her, she might hit somebody that got too close. And again, I don't think she would pursue them or try to actually cause any damage. So I could still see a little conflict, like what we just saw with Eddie. That's expected, but she's not, like I said, she's not out to cause any harm. She's not going to start any real fights with anybody, and she's doing great. She's just been fantastic. I did not expect that based on her initial behavior here, but there you have it. She's awesome. Okay, I've rambled on about enough things. I need to get my second coffee. I really need to make that work for me. I do have, Lori, you asked who Flower's getting adopted with. You know what? I got the official word from Dawes about the pairings for the adoptions. I just don't remember them. So I'll check all that out, and I'll end up talking about it on the Discord, and we'll get to it in a close-up very soon where I talk about who's getting adopted with who and where they're going, and I'll reach out to their adopters and talk to them, and I'm very excited about all of that. I do think they even have an adopter picked out for Millet, just assuming that nothing changes once we find out about what we're going to do for him. So anyhow, we got to wrap this up. So thanks again for joining us. If you want to keep watching these kittens, look at that. There's a camera right there pointed at me. That camera and the other cameras are on the Kitten Academy live stream here on YouTube. So you can flip over to the Kitten Academy live stream and just keep watching like nothing happened. Or you can hang out and wait for the next close-up, which, in theory will be tomorrow. I try to do them every day. I'm hitting something more like every other day on average, but I'm doing what I can. And don't forget to check our website, kitten.academy, for close-up pictures of the kids upstairs. And soon, I think the next blog post is going to be candid photos of these kids, and maybe even a real shoot for these kids also, because they're overdue for that. So we might get around to that too. Okie dokie. That's it, and I will see all of you later on. Yeah, we got to put that collar back on you, buddy. Let's not take it away. That's for you, Corn. Can you put it on yourself? I don't think that's how it works.